A brief history of NBA officiating.
Barry, how much does it cost if I say something, a comment about the ref? Is it 20,000? It's a lot of money, so I should not do it.
Before diving into the controversy surrounding the 2006 NBA Finals, it's worth taking a step back to understand the landscape of NBA officiating itself, a subject that's long stirred debate among fans, players, and insiders alike. The NBA has always walked a fine line between competition and entertainment. With millions of fans and billions of dollars at stake, the pressure on referees to manage games, and sometimes narratives, has never been small. In the 1980s and 90s, physical play was not only tolerated, it was glorified. Teams like the Detroit Pistons thrived on it. Yet even then, stars seemed to receive preferential treatment. Michael Jordan's rise came with not just talent, but protection. The term superstar calls became part of basketball vocabulary. By the 2000s, the league was trying to clean up the game's image. Flagrant fouls were redefined. Hand checking was slowly phased out. The league emphasized flow and scoring. But with those changes came new controversies, and no moment exemplified this more than the infamous 2002 Western Conference Finals between the Kings and Lakers. Game 6 of that series is still cited as the most egregiously officiated playoff game ever. The Lakers shot 27 free throws in the fourth quarter alone. Former ref Tim Donaghy would later suggest that game was manipulated to extend the series. Although never proven, it cast a long shadow over NBA officiating, one that still hangs today. The idea that referees could be influenced by league pressure, by storylines, by the desire for longer series, wasn't born in 2006, but it was tested there. And that brings us to the finals that continue to divide fans nearly 2 decades later.
The 2006 NBA Finals is one of the most iconic and polarizing series in league history, not just because of who won, but how they won. Dwayne Wade's performance became the stuff of legend, but for many, the way the Miami Heat turned the series around left a trail of questions that still echo today. So the question remains, was it one of the greatest finals performances of all time, or was it something more orchestrated, maybe even influenced? Let's take a deeper look. Setting the stage. Coming into the series, the Miami Heat were seen as talented but beatable. Shaquille O'Neal, though still dominant at times, was no longer the MVP caliber player he was in Los Angeles. Dwayne Wade was a rising star, not yet the face of the league. Meanwhile, the Dallas Mavericks were rolling. They had won 60 games that season. They had swept Memphis, beaten the defending champion San Antonio Spurs in 7, and taken down the high-octane Phoenix Suns in 6. Dirk Nowitzki was playing the best basketball of his career. Game 1 and Game 2, all Dallas. They won both convincingly, and heading into Game 3, the talk was whether or not Miami could even avoid a sweep. That's when everything changed. The turning point. In Game 3, with just over 6 minutes left, the Mavericks held a commanding 13-point lead. Miami was on the ropes. And then Wade exploded. He scored 15 of his 42 points in the final minutes. The Heat mounted a furious comeback and stole Game 3. That swing didn't just shift momentum, it flipped the narrative of the entire series. Over the next 3 games, Wade's performances became the focal point. He averaged over 39 points in Games 3 through 6. Every possession ran through him, and many of those possessions ended at the free throw line. A lot of them.
Take it. Over 6 left. Wade, drive right side. Wade, 3 seconds. Wade, up with it.
The free throw disparity. In Game 5 alone, Wade shot 25 free throws. That's more than any finals player had attempted in a single game since the 1960s. The entire Dallas Mavericks team also shot 25. Across Games 3 through 6, Wade attempted 73 free throws. The entire Mavericks team attempted 103. To put that into context, the average team in the 2006 playoffs attempted just over 22 free throws per game. Wade, by himself, was outpacing full teams. Now, free throws happen. Superstars get whistles. But this wasn't a few extra calls here and there. The volume was unprecedented. Was it due to aggressive drives and elite footwork, or was he getting the benefit of the doubt over and over again? That's where the debate starts. Game 5's final seconds. The end of Game 5 was especially controversial. Tie game. Less than 10 seconds to go. Wade drives. Devin Harris contests. Contact is minimal. Almost non-existent on replay. Whistle. Foul. Wade goes to the line and hits both. Miami wins. But that's not all.
Earlier in that same possession, Mavericks coach Avery Johnson had tried to call a timeout after Wade's first free throw. Officials ruled he had called it before, resulting in Dallas losing a critical timeout and any chance of drawing up a final play. A small moment, maybe, but one more piece in a series that seemed full of strange timing. Mark Cuban's reaction. Mavs owner Mark Cuban erupted. He followed referees down the tunnel. He yelled at league officials. He was later fined $250,000 for his behavior, one of the largest single fines in NBA history at the time. He didn't say the word rigged, but he didn't have to. His message was clear. Something didn't feel right. Cuban wasn't alone. NBA forums, fan boards, and local media began diving into the officiating stats, and what they found raised even more eyebrows.
The referee angle. Game 5 featured a crew including Bennett Salvatore and Joe DeRosa, both experienced, but both with histories of questionable calls. Joe DeRosa would later be suspended for throwing a ball at a fan in the stands. Salvatore had drawn criticism over the years for inconsistent whistle tendencies. And all this happened just 1 year before the league was rocked by the Tim Donaghy scandal. Donaghy, a longtime NBA ref, admitted in 2007 to betting on games and influencing calls. In sworn testimony, he claimed that referees were often encouraged, not explicitly told, but nudged, to favor certain players or outcomes, to extend series or enhance storylines. He never named the 2006 finals, but many fans didn't need him to. Wade's side of the story. To his credit, Dwayne Wade has never shied away from the criticism. His response has been consistent. He attacked the basket. He took hits. He played fearlessly. The fouls? They came because he earned them. And yes, watching the film, Wade was constantly in motion, weaving through defenders, absorbing contact, and playing with relentless aggression. He wasn't shying away from the moment. He owned it. But the question lingers. Did he get more leeway than others? Context matters. At the time, the NBA was hungry for a new star. Shaq was fading. Kobe was still trying to recover his image after legal troubles. LeBron wasn't quite ready to carry the league. Wade was young, marketable, explosive, the perfect face for a post-Jordan league. Was the league interested in seeing him succeed? Probably. Did that influence the officiating? That's harder to prove. The ratings spike. Game 6 of the 2006 finals drew 17.3 million viewers. That was a 32% increase from the year before. The NBA had its drama, its rising star, and its redemption arc. Whether rigged or real, the results paid off. Dirk and Dallas fade away. In the aftermath, Dirk Nowitzki was criticized for being soft. The Mavericks were labeled chokers. The Heat celebrated. Wade's jersey sales exploded. The narrative had been written. But the Mavericks never forgot. 2011. Revenge served cold. 5 years later, Dallas returned to the finals. Again, they face Miami, now with LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Wade. This time, Dirk and the Mavericks flipped the script. No controversial whistles, no late-game fouls, just hard-nosed team basketball. Dirk averaged 26 points. Dallas won in 6. For many, it was justice. So was it rigged? There's no official evidence. No emails, no orders from the top. But there are patterns. A lopsided free throw count, questionable officiating, a league in need of a new superstar, and a series that swung too perfectly to ignore. On the other hand, Wade was undeniably aggressive. Miami adjusted after 2 early losses. Dallas blew leads late in multiple games. Maybe it was an all-time great performance. Maybe it was theater. The beauty and frustration is that we'll never truly know. But if you ask fans of both sides, they'll tell you that 2006 whistle still echoes. Whether it was justice or a setup, that's for you to decide.